It's live at 5. Welcome to Thursday's live stream. How you doing, everybody? Today, I thought I'd take you through some of my setup when it comes to using Stream Deck. Now, it's a little bit of a basic walkthrough. Everybody's Stream Deck setup and the way that they have theirs configured differs from person to person, but I just wanted to show you how I use mine. I've got a couple of different Stream Deck configurations. In fact, I've got a couple of different Stream Decks. As you probably find that if you buy one Stream Deck, you'll end up buying another because you can never have enough buttons. But for those who are not sure what a Stream Deck is, a Stream Deck effectively is a physical piece of equipment that allows you to press a button and perform a particular action with the software that you're using on your Mac or PC. Now here, let me just show you. Here is one example of a Stream Deck. So this is a Stream Deck Plus. It has buttons here and sort of twiddly slider things there. And then I have another little Stream Deck, which is the 15-inch Stream Deck. You probably can't see it very well, but trust me, it's a useful little device. So Stream Decks come in different shapes and sizes, and they are very useful, obviously, for automation, actioning specific workflows within your live streams or recordings. And I use these Stream Decks for a mixture. I use them in my live streams. I use them in my pre-recorded material. I use them for doing voice controls on the Rodecaster. I use them for Final Cut Pro. In fact, there's quite a few things I actually use them for. So I just wanted to share with you some ideas that may help you utilize your Stream Deck if you've bought one and you're not sure how many things to set up or what you should set up, or if you're thinking of buying one and want to know really how useful they are, then hopefully this video is going to help you a little bit. This video is live. There's a fly in here. I had to get that. Woo! Got to get it like a ninja sometimes. And anyway, so there is also a free application for the iPhone and the Android, which is the Stream Deck application. And it's free when you basically download it, and you get six buttons that you can assign a particular function or action with. If you want to pay for the full version, that's going to unlock the app and you can get quite a number of buttons. I think it's just a different sort of profile, a different set of setup that you can get lots of different buttons and pages if you pay for the full version. But I've got the free version on my phone because I'm only going to use it for this example for you. So let's take a look and see how I've got mine set up. So if I go into my share, first of all, when you get your Stream Deck, you will need to download the Stream Deck application, which is this fella here. And this is where you will start to control and assign all the various buttons and functions that you will have within your Stream Deck. So this is how mine is configured right now. Let me just give you a little run through of the navigation of the Stream Deck application. So at the top left here, you will see that you have the various Stream Decks that you've got connected to your machine. I have a Stream Deck Mini. I have a Stream Deck Plus, which is the one with the rotary controls, and I also have a pedal. And the pedal's useful because you can use, I use my pedal to just cycle through the different scenes that I have in Ecamm, but they can be assigned to do various things, as we'll talk about in a second. So let's go back to the Stream Deck Mini, which is the little one on the desk here. Within Stream Deck, you have, in my case, I've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 buttons that are facing me that I can press at any time. But Stream Deck has pages that you can assign, so you can cycle through the various pages within the app, and that will change what's happening on the front of the Stream Deck itself. So I don't know if there's a limit of how many pages you can have within each of your Stream Deck configurations, but trust me, once you start to get into configuring your Stream Deck to do various functions, you will inevitably run out of buttons and you'll want more. So you can buy a bigger Stream Deck if you want to get more buttons, or you can use the concept of pages, which will cycle through in my case, the 15 buttons and give you a new set of 15 buttons to assign other functions to. So it'll all become clear in a second when we start to mess around and assign buttons. So I'm just going to create a brand new page. And when you create a new page within Stream Deck, you get, well, nothing. All these buttons currently are unassigned. So you can assign a button to a particular function on your machine, whether it be for live streaming or recording, as I've mentioned. And in my particular case, I'm just going to show you a couple of things that I've already got set up and how you actually start to get these actions and functions within the buttons. Excuse me. You'll notice on the right-hand side that there are the various plugins that you can get as part of the Stream Deck program. Now, all of these plugins are free, and you get them from the Elgato Marketplace. Now, Elgato recently has updated this, so let me just click on this a second. And you'll see that when you click on the button, it will take you to a web page, which is the Elgato Marketplace. And this provides you with a whole host of various plugins, icons, and sample workflows you can go through to make your Stream Deck much more customizable and much more effective. So as you can see here, ones that have got specific plugins for and uses for the actual Stream Deck Plus, because it's got the rotary controls, you can control your Elgato lights. I use mine with MIDI, and I'll show you how I'm using mine with the Rodecaster a little bit later. I've also got some hue lights, which are the little spotlights here. You can control your lighting with that. In fact, there's quite a number of things that you can use your Stream Deck for. So it's not necessarily just for gaming or live streaming or recording. There are a few things that can help you with various workflows and things like that. So that's the Elgato Marketplace. You have to have a login to sign up for this, but all these plugins pretty much are free. The icons aren't, so people will sell their icon packs. I've got an icon pack myself specifically for the Rodecaster workflows that I did a video on some time back, but some icons are free, which will give you a nice look and feel instead of having just the normal sort of standard buttons that you get with the plugins. All right, so let's go back and show you what I am referring to. So here we have a blank screen. And on the right-hand side, I'm just going to, because I'm an Ecamm Live at the moment, as a quick example, when you install Ecamm Live, you will get the Ecamm Live plugin for Stream Deck. If you don't see it, you can get this plugin to reload by maybe just reinstalling Ecamm. There is also different plugins that Ecamm provide as well. One for the Loop Deck, which is a similar device to the Stream Deck, but I've never played with the Loop Deck. I know some people like it, some people hate it. For me, the mark of a decent product is its software. Now, Elgato has its quirks with some of the software, but pretty much the Stream Deck software has been around a while and it's pretty robust. So I wouldn't really have too many issues recommending that at the moment. And a ton of people use the Elgato Stream Decks anyway. Right, so let's just assign a button and show you how easy it is. So if you go to the respective plugin that you want, we'll select Ecamm Live. Let's have a look what we've got. And when you open it up, you can see that we have a ton of various functions that you can assign to the buttons on your Stream Deck to do various things in the program. So we're going to make it very simple. We're going to do a next scene and previous scene. So you just click and drag these buttons into your Stream Deck. So all I'm doing is dragging them into this Stream Deck software. And then if I can show you on the desk, so the ones I've just assigned, the left and right buttons that I've just assigned on the actual Stream Deck application are representative of the ones that have been assigned on the buttons. So as soon as you put them into the Stream Deck software, they appear on your physical Stream Deck and you can start playing around with it. Now, in this particular button, you see down at the bottom, there are no other setup that you have to do. So it's next scene and previous scene. So if I press the previous scene, we'll just go back to the desk, hello. And if I go next scene, we're going to go straight to this screen share overlay that I've done now. So that's the most basic function that you can add within the Stream Deck. It's a single action button meaning that you press it once and it will do a particular function. Now, there are different types of buttons, actions and functions within Stream Deck, and you can have some really interesting and complicated workflows depending on what you want to do. And I'll show you a couple of examples of how I'm using something called multi-actions to help me navigate through some of my Ecamm profiles. And I'll show you how to do that in a short while when I go on to another system. So that's in its basic form. So to delete them, you can just right-click and hit delete. If you want to move them around, click and drag, and you can move them anywhere on your Stream Deck panel, as you can do here. So I'm just going to delete these for a second as well. Ecamm Live offer a ton of different actions for your Stream Deck, which is really useful. Starting and stopping your live stream, for example, mute the main microphone, you can go into live demo mode. I've got a number of these buttons set up and I'll show you in a second. You can also have it show you how many viewers you have on your live stream, so it pops up as a little number. And then there's lots of things that you can do within that. So that's just one example using Ecamm Live. When you get the Stream Deck, it also comes with a couple of default plugins, the multi-action, which we'll talk about in a second. And then you've got the Stream Deck itself, where you can just set the brightness and so on for the actual Stream Deck. As I mentioned to you before, I also have some Philips Hue lights here. So you can use this to control the lights. So when you're about to start your recording, for example, you can press one button and you can have all your various lights come on, turn into a different color scheme, whatever you want. And obviously with the Elgato control center, you can also set your Elgato lights. If you have some, I've got one Elgato panel here, and I'll show you how I've got mine set up in a minute. What's also cool is you have plugins for Zoom and other programs. So with Zoom, this is a free plugin. There is a paid for one now, which gives you more functionality. But for me, I don't really need to use anything more advanced than what's here. You can obviously mute yourself, switch on the video, share the screen, spotlight and focus, cloud recording, and all those kinds of things. So, and you've also got the option here with a custom shortcut. So any custom shortcut key that you have in Zoom, in this particular example, you could assign to the key in your Stream Deck button. Super useful. Also, they've just introduced Slack as a plugin. So there's not a ton of functionality right now in the Slack plugin. You can open a direct message, go to a specific channel, open up a group, and pause notifications. But obviously, as the plugins get more advanced, then there will be more information and details that you can have within those particular plugins and do more functionality with them. Right, so let me go back and show you some examples of how I've got my Stream Deck set up. So if I go to page 1, on my Stream Deck, I've got a few buttons set up directly for when I'm going live, when I'm recording, or for when I am doing some overlays and things. So let me go into the share and show you what I mean. So this first one is just really a go live button, but it's using the Ecamm plugin for that, but I've also put something else. So if we go to the content down here, this is a multi-action button. So what that means is I press this button once, I press my live button, but it's going to do multiple things behind the scenes. In this particular case, it's just going to do 2 actions. If I click on this, the first thing it's going to do is run a particular scene for me. In my case, I've got the thumbnail that you saw at the beginning of this live stream pop up, which is this guy here. That's my thumbnail, and that is just allowing me as a placeholder to, before I go live, I don't want to see me setting myself up or just moving around or anything like that. I want it to go straight to this scene. And then once that scene has been actioned, it's going to basically run a live stream. And whatever my live stream I have scheduled in the list, Ecamm will start that live stream for me. So it's going to do 2 things, run my first scene, which is the thumbnail. And then as soon as the thumbnail has been actioned and you see the thumbnail, it's then going to start the live stream for me. So it's a bit of a safeguard. Instead of me just going live and I could just be here like this preparing, it's going to first of all go to the thumbnail scene and then go live. So it's a really sort of quick and easy safeguard to go to the right scene that you want before you actually go live. Now, if you wanted to be doubly sure, you could also put a little delay in there of maybe 5 seconds before it goes live, giving Ecamm Live enough time to make sure the scene is fully populated. You know, it has all the graphics that you need. And you could do that simply by going here and going to the multi-action, which I'm doing right now. Open up the multi-action, and I'm just going to put a delay in between these two. So I'm going to put a delay of, let's say, 2 seconds. So when I press the main button, it's going to run the scene, wait for 2 seconds, then go live. Again, another little safeguard and so on. I have a similar one for record, whereby it's just got one action, and all it's going to do is just basically go live /record/finish. So this is just one button that I've set up, but there's many others that I also use. So for example, if I pressed the Buy Me a Coffee button, which you see here now, it's going to run up an overlay that I've already got configured in my Ecamm Live overlay scene. And how that is working, if I click on it, you can see here that it's a title, and it's going to be run an overlay or show and hide an overlay within Ecamm Live. So let me just go to a blank page a second. Let's go back to Ecamm Live. So how I set that up is you scroll down here and you do show and hide overlay. So the show and hide overlay is the action that you want. Drag it in there, and then you basically tell Ecamm Live, or Stream Deck, sorry, what overlay you want to run. And I've got mine set in folders. You can see here there's one that's called Buy a Coffee. So if I click on that, if I then press that button, it should do the same thing. It basically brings up the Buy Me a Coffee, and then it shows you the QR code as well. And that is set up in Ecamm Live as a group or a folder. And within that folder, there is a URL with some text, and then the overlay, which is the QR code. And I can show you how that is set up in Ecamm Live in a second. So you can see that you can really use Stream Deck to make your live streams a bit more fluid. They run a little bit more efficiently because you've got all these overlays and scenes set up, and you can assign specific buttons to them. The same thing for this Ecamm Live free trial URL as well. It's the same thing. So it's a text overlay with a graphic, which is the QR code, being actioned by this button here. And it's just a simple show and hide overlay. And when I press it again, the overlay goes away. Now you can actually put a delay in this as a multi-action. So you can press the button, the overlay will come up, it could wait for 5 seconds, and then the overlay would disappear itself. So without you having to press the button twice, you can also do that. So there's quite a few different things that you can action within your Stream Deck. Stream Deck also allows you to use shortcut keys or hotkeys. And as you know, Ecamm Live has a number of these different hotkeys available where you can show and hide the controls, for example, take a screenshot, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Also, I've got one set here to go into live demo mode, and mine is a little bit different because I originally had mine set to go into live demo mode, and then it would hide my icons for me on the desktop. And that's just an automation script, and I can link that in the video as well here, whereby I created an automation script in Apple where it would hide all my desktop icons to make it look cleaner when I'm going into live demo mode. But for this particular case, it's just set at the moment for live demo mode. The other thing that is available on your plugins is that YouTube has a series of plugins for Stream Deck as well. And if I open up this YouTube plugin, you can see that we've got ones for chat messages, how many viewers, you can play a particular ad, you can start and stop the stream, or you can open the dashboard. Now for me, I've just got one here set for a chat message, which means if I open this up, it shows me that what account I'm using, which latest stream, and I can actually put a message. So when I press this button, that button will then post a question into the live chat. Well, I'm hoping it will. And there it goes. So it's already just posted into the live chat, and I can bring that actually up here into that. Let me just make that a little bit smaller. So you can see that the live chat has already come up. And this is what I just posted in the chat. So, and again, another easy way of using your Stream Deck to action a particular function. And this is the YouTube plugin. So again, you can put chat messages and things like that for YouTube. So I've also got things set up for this guide that I set up recently for IG. So that's just another simple overlay. And then I've got ones that end the stream and go to a particular scene, well, when I'm recording. So that's just one example. Here, I also have the zoom controls set up ready. And then in another page, I've got ones to control my hue light. So I could turn off the light behind me, which is just going to turn it off. There you go. And then I'll turn it back on. It's very subtle, but it's just a basic background light and so on. And then I've got things set up for Slack. And then I've got a huge big record button here that if I want to just do a recording within Ecamm Live, I can do that as well. All right, so those are my specific actions on my Stream Deck Mini. And then my Stream Deck Plus, it's very simple. I've just got specific scenes set up here. So it's my main camera, the desk camera, which I can go to now. There's the main camera, then the screen share, which I'm doing right now. So here's the screen share. And then I can bring up the chat, which is another particular scene. And there you go, testing YouTube comments. So you get the idea that it's a quick way of being able to action certain functions within your live stream production. So let me just go back to this particular share, and I can show you a couple of things. I've got some notes. Just let me consult my notes to make sure I've got through that. I also have these buttons here on my Stream Deck Plus, which are actual functions that are going to control the Rodecaster. So I have a video out on my YouTube channel that explains this in way too much detail, but it goes and explains exactly how you can set up your Stream Deck to control various functions on your Rodecaster Pro. This works with the Streamer X, I believe, and also the Rodecaster Duo. And because the Rodecaster has the ability to be controlled by MIDI commands, which is the Musical Instrument Digital Interface, then you can also control the Rodecaster's various functions with the Stream Deck. Now I've got two set up at the moment, just as an example. One is the pitch up, so I press this and my voice goes crazy, and one is the monster pitch, which is making my voice sound really silly as well. But these actions are controlled by a MIDI plugin that is here somewhere, wherever it's gone. I did have it plugged in, there you go. So this is a MIDI plugin, it's a free plugin, and this has been created by a developer. And these are all the various controls that you can do within the Rodecaster. I'm not going to go into the detail here on this video, but I will link in the description below if you want to know more about controlling your Rodecaster. Not every function is available within the Rodecaster to be controlled by the Stream Deck via MIDI. It's limited. Rode really didn't offer a ton of support on this, so I went through and figured it out myself. But you can certainly mute channels, start a recording, action the sound pads, and various other things. Really useful if your Rodecaster is away from you and you just want everything centrally controlled by your Stream Deck. So another quick way of doing that. I'm now going to go into my Mac over here and just show you a couple of ways of using the Stream Deck to actually set up a couple of other workflows. So this is my Creative Amplifiers second channel. As you know, Mark and Lisa and I created this channel coming out of Ecamm to just showcase other great creators within the Ecamm family. And this is the show production within Ecamm. There's lots of overlays and things like that here. But I wanted to show you, if you have a number of shows that you produce from time to time on your Ecamm Live setup, how you can use the Stream Deck to actually control not only the profile switching, but also maybe you want your layout to be different. And I did talk about that in a previous video on my channel using a third-party plugin called Moom. And Moom is an application that saves the desktop layout of your application. So for example, if you've got multiple windows everywhere and you want them saved in a specific location and you know that the layout is going to be the same each time, then you can use Moom to save the position of those windows on your desktop. And then every time you go back to that, the system looks exactly how you expect it to look, which is super, super good. Thank you, John, by the way, for your kind comment there. Oops, it's a bit small. Let me just get that in. Thank you so much for your kind comment there. I did spend a lot of time on that, and a lot of people have found it useful, so really appreciate your comment on that. So let's show you, by heading over to the app presentation, how we can now switch profiles within Ecamm using a single button on Stream Deck. And I'm also going to save a layout of my particular Ecamm profile, and therefore you can do the same thing with the Stream Deck. So for this, it now gets a bit complicated. So I've got this view on my MacBook because I obviously can't switch profiles whilst I'm streaming live within Ecamm. So I've got another Ecamm session running here at the moment. And I've also, if I just scroll down here at the bottom, where has it gone? I also have my iPhone. My iPhone is, in this particular case, my iPhone is running the Stream Deck application. And that Stream Deck application, as I said, this is the free one. So it's given me the option to do some free buttons. Let me go back to this, there. And I'll show you how this works. So a couple of things we have to do. First off, here's my layout, which I like, within my Ecamm Live production. And as I mentioned, I'm going to use an application called Moom, which is this application here. I just zoom in for a second. This is going to save the window layout as a snapshot. So I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to give this a name. I'm going to call it Ecamm. I'm going to call it CA for Creative Amplifiers. Just move my other mouse out of the way a second. So this is my Ecamm Creative Amplifiers setup, and I'm going to tell it to ignore any obstructed windows. And within Moom, I've just got it to say, arrange the windows based on this layout that you're seeing right now. I'm going to save everything, as you can see here. I'm just going to update the snapshot. And basically that's it. So at a first pass, if I move some of these windows around here like this, if I go to Moom at the top, I just click on the one that I've just saved, which is the Ecamm Creative Amplifiers. I click on it, and all the windows snap back into position. So that's action number one. You need to set this up first to make sure that the layout is how you want the layout to be. Then let's go back into Moom and go into Preferences. And now I'm going to give it a shortcut key. So I'm just going to say Command Z. Oops, I can't use that. Some functions use Command Z. Let me just do Function D then. No, can't use that either. Oh, come on. Let's do Shift A. Shift A, make it simple. Lots of other applications use these function keys. So now I've got Shift A as my shortcut key that will action Moom to move these around. So let's just test it. I'm just going to move these windows all over the place. How messy. I'll do Shift A and boom, everything goes back to place. And I've got a comment from Martin. Let's have a see. What did Martin say? Martin said, my comment is so small I can't see. Just noticed that you're live. I have a Stream Deck pedal I need to set up. Well, Martin, you are hopefully in the right place to set up that Stream Deck pedal. Hopefully it'll help you. Let's see. So I've got Moom set up now to basically sort out my layout. And now let's go into the Stream Deck application. Stream Deck. So Martin, for you as well, the Stream Deck application will, and I'll go back to mine in a second for the pedal, but effectively this is where you do all the configuration. So there's a couple of things I want to do. First of all, I want to create a multi-action button. So I'm going to do a multi-action here. I'm going to drag it in. And this multi-action button is going to do a couple of things. I'll just give it a title. I'm just going to call it Profile 1. So this is going to be Profile 1 on my phone. And you can see already that the phone at the bottom, just underneath this Stream Deck profile, it has basically already had the button assigned to it. So that's what you would get as soon as you drag a action into an empty space on the Stream Deck application. The button will show up on your respective Stream Deck. And in my case, my respective Stream Deck is my iPhone with the free Stream Deck app on it. So I'm now going to create two actions. The first action is that I'm going to do a switch profile. So I'm going to open up Ecamm Live. Let's close all this down a second. So here we have Ecamm Live, and within Ecamm Live you get a number of different plugins, as I mentioned, and the one at the bottom is called Switch Profile. So I'm going to switch profile, and then I've got two profiles configured here in Ecamm. It's asking me to select which profile I want to switch to when I press the button. So it's going to be the Creative Amplifiers one. And then I want to create another action that then evokes or invokes the Moom shortcut key. So for that, I have to go back up to the top here under navigation, I think. No, hang on a second. I can never remember which one it is. Let me find it. I can never remember it. System, sorry. There's that many plugins. So if I go under System, you'll see that we've got a hotkey. So I click on this and drag the hotkey in there. And the hotkey is asking me to assign. So if I click on this, I do Shift A. And that, if you remember, was the hotkey that I assigned for the Moom layout. So I'm not going to press anything at the moment. I'm now going to just go to another profile. And I'm going to move all these windows around. This is a sample IG Live vertical layout. I'm going to move all this around. And hopefully, if I now press the button on the iPhone Stream Deck by hitting Profile 1, what should happen is, and I'm hoping this is going to happen, what should happen is when I press this button on my phone, the profile on Ecamm should change. And it should align the windows. So let's go back and see if it works. I'm going to press the button. It's going to load the profile. And boom, it has switched and done the layout. So you can see super powerful. If you've got multiple profiles and you've got the different layouts assigned, then obviously that's a real time saver. And if you're doing profiles for customers, or you've got multiple shows and things like that, and you want your windows arranged in a certain way, then a combination of Stream Deck, Ecamm switching profiles, and Moom for your layout is going to give you a ton of flexibility. Let's take a look if there's any questions. There is one from John. And John says, in Stream Deck, can we assign hotkeys with 3 keystrokes like Shift, Command, and A? Yes, you can. Let's try it, shall we? Always a good way to try and prove this. So let's go back to the desktop view. So this is my Stream Deck Plus. We've got a spur key here. So like Command, like Shift, Command, A. So Moom would be the same thing, I think, on here. So let me just assign a window layout here. Save snapshot. I'll just give it another one. I'll just call this test. arrange windows. So let's do Command Shift A. So there is Command Shift A for this particular layout. Update layout, replace it. Let's assign the shortcut key. So in Stream Deck, I'm going to go to System. I'm going to assign a hotkey. And I'm going to do Command Shift A, like that. I'm going to move a window around, like this. And I'm going to go into live demo mode so you can see what I'm doing. So here's live demo mode. I've assigned a hotkey. I've moved these windows around like this. I've done Command Shift A. And if I press the button, all the windows snap back into place. So yes, John, the answer is yes. You can assign hotkeys with 3 keystrokes. I think really it just depends on what your system allows. Effectively, if you can assign the keystroke without interfering with anything else on the system, then you can certainly assign that within the Stream Deck. So Martin, you had a question about, the Stream Deck pedal. I've got one here. I'll click on the Stream Deck pedal, and this list here is just showing you, if I just zoom in, it's just basically showing you all the respective Stream Decks you've got connected to your machine. I'm using the Stream Deck pedal here. So mine, I've got just advance, previous scene, left and right. In the middle button, I keep pressing it and it basically mutes my microphone. So left and right, flip between scenes, and the middle one is mute. Now you can assign anything you want to the Stream Deck pedal. It doesn't have to be anything to do with Ecamm. You can use it to switch anything you want. But yeah, let's have a see what John is asking. Thanks for demo. I got confused. Yeah. I can't do Shift F1. Yeah, I'm not sure because I don't use the F keys so much, but it depends on if that function key is used for a particular function like screen brightness or something else, then you might not be able to do that. I had another couple of things I wanted to show you. If you've got the Elgato prompter, then Elgato has some plugins for that as well, but very confusing. You buy the Elgato prompter and then you spend half the time trying to work out, well, what plugin do I need to download? So just in case you have got the Elgato prompter and you want to know which plugin on the right hand side to use, it is actually, let me find it. It's the Elgato Camera Hub. Well, why wouldn't it be called anything else? Because you basically use the Camera Hub plugin with the Elgato prompter. And you can see down here that it's got prompter controls, prompter display, prompter mode, and things like that. And I've got mine set up here already on this. So if I just click on this, here is the prompter scrolling. So you can assign any button within your Stream Deck for adjustment of the prompter. And each of these prompter controls here have different functions. So let me just delete this and I'll show you what I mean. So if I just wanted to do prompter control, let me just drag this in here. And you've got a number of different settings. You can start and stop the playing of the prompter. The next one is scrolling, and then the other one is select. So each of the plugins that you get with the prompter have multifunctions assigned to them as well. So, and also, depending on whether you use a function button like this or a rotary control, they also give you different options as well. For example, a rotary control would lend itself to doing things like scrolling speed and maybe brightness of the control as I've got here. For example, font size is another one where you would use the rotary bars to control, or the rotary control, sorry, to control the size of the font size within the prompter. So there's a lot of configurable settings that you can have within the Stream Deck. Let me just check if I've got anything else that I had. So yeah, so for people with complicated profiles and different overlays, let's just go real quick into live demo mode. let me just move this Stream Deck down a second, out of the way, and so on. So, for example, I showed you before that here we have a number of different overlays that I've got. And the Buy Me a Coffee one that I had just had a very simple overlay whereby I had the QR code and the URL. So if I click on this, this is just a simple web widget that I use for the Buy Me a Coffee, which is here. And then the other one is the QR code that I've got assigned to it as well. So let me just get rid of that. So when I action these, you can see that it brings the overlay and QR code together. And within the Stream Deck, I've just assigned one of the buttons to be this overlay, and it actions it basically. Let me just get rid of the other one. So yeah, Buy Me a Coffee and the Ecamm affiliate, and there's the Buy Me a Coffee one. I did the wrong one before, so there you go. All right. Let me get rid of my zoom. So confusing. So that's really all I wanted to touch on today. There's a few different workflows that you can assign with your Stream Deck. The pedal is really useful for just navigating through your scenes, and the Stream Decks with the various multifunction buttons can do a number of things. And I also, just real quick, you can actually assign, where has my Stream Deck plugin gone? It's disappeared. Let me just bring up the Stream Deck plugin. You can also with the Stream Deck pedal create a multifunction button as well, I think. So let's try that. Let's just delete that real quick. Do multi-action. Drag that in there. So yeah, so there's nothing stopping you with the Stream Deck pedal doing the same thing. It's just simply two buttons. So you can create a multi-action button. You could say, well, I'm going to go to one scene. I'm going to action a particular overlay. When I go to that scene, I'll put a delay on things and then I'll come out of that scene. So let's just try that real quick. So let's go to Ecamm Live. Let's do go to scene, run scene. So I'm going to say I want to go to my main camera, which is my first scene. Then I'm going to put a delay of, let's say, 5 seconds into this. Then I want it to go to another scene, which is going to be run next scene. I then want to go to my desktop view, and then I want it to show a overlay, and which is show an overlay. Where's it gone? Show and hide overlay, which is here. And in this particular overlay, I want to bring up, I don't know, this text heading, which is what this show is all about at the moment. So, and that is my multi-action button on the Stream Deck pedal. So let me hit that pedal and see what happens. So go to my main scene. You should wait 5 seconds. You should then go to my next scene, bring in the overlay, and there it goes. And that's basically it. And you can do a number of different things with the Stream Deck pedals and stuff. So John, you were saying, I've tried assigning the rotary Stream Deck to the Rodecaster dial, not working well. Yeah, I think I tried the same thing as well. I wanted the Rodecaster's volume control to be controlled by the rotary control on the Stream Deck, and that would be fantastic. And I asked Rode about that, and they said, well, we're not sure that would work yet. I mean, they are making some updates to the software, but unfortunately that didn't work for me. I will persevere and try with that, but there's certain things it doesn't do well. And I've used a MIDI controller, and I've used a MIDI an analysis tool, which shows me which MIDI commands are being sent from the Stream Deck, which are being received by the Rodecaster, and vice versa. And if you do use the slider with this MIDI analysis tool, you can actually see the MIDI controls being sent from the Rodecaster. But when I try and simulate those and put the same control codes into the rotary controller from the Stream Deck, The Rodecaster just doesn't do anything, which is really annoying and would be really nice if it actually did. But I guess we'll have to wait. But yeah, I've tried the same thing, John. But yeah, if you get anything working, by the way, if you get anything working that I haven't got set up on the PDF and the workflow that I set up on the YouTube video, then please just drop me a comment. Let me know, because I'd be super interested to know if you've managed to get any other workflows set up within your Rodecaster that I haven't sort of highlighted. Because I went through as many controls as I could think of, but I'm surely I've missed a few. But it would be really interesting to see what other people do. All right, if there are no other questions around Stream Deck and stuff like that, then that might just be the end of this stream for today. And we're nearly at 45 minutes, which is great. Thanks to you both for joining me today. And if people want to catch on the replay, then please do. It's been fun to go live. And if you've got any workflows for Stream Deck, Rodecasters, things that you guys use, then please drop me a comment below, and I'd be interested to see how you're using your Stream Deck for your particular workflows. Have a great day. And I'm actually going to start going live on Tuesdays as well in the evening. And that's just more of a sort of informal, don't have a plan. Yeah, try to work out what's going on. Thank you very much, John. It's really kind of you to say that. I really appreciate it. You have a good day too. I will see you very soon, and take it easy. I'll be going live on Tuesdays as well at 10 o'clock UK, which is 5 Eastern, I think. I'll see you then. Take it easy. Oh, is it going to work? My Stream Deck failed me. Look at that. My Stream Deck failed me. That's really good. So let's do NC.